A lawyer's pro-revenge on a wife-beater. Let's call him Joe. Joe was a wife-beater and a liar. He thought his fists and lies could solve any problem, and for a while they did. But then he crossed the wrong people. I was hired by Joe's ex-business partner, who also happened to be his ex-wife's brother. Joe had not only abused his wife, but betrayed her brother in business. My job? To legally ruin Joe, and I was thorough. Joe swaggered into court with his usual bravado, confident his lies would work, but I came prepared. By the end, I secured a massive judgment against him, more than he could ever afford. Joe scrambled, hiding assets and stalling, but I tracked everything down. His bank accounts garnished, properties seized. His once comfortable life was crumbling. Eventually, all Joe had left was a rental house where he lived in the unfinished basement, surviving on rent from tenants upstairs. He thought he'd hidden it under a fake company name, but I had an investigator find him. It took time, but I seized the house, too. One day, Joe went out for cigarettes, and when he returned, the sheriff had changed the locks. Joe was homeless. His only possession left was a beat-up old truck. It wasn't worth seizing, so I let him keep it, until he parked it across the driveway of the house he'd lost, blocking the tenants. I had it towed. The next day, his pro bono lawyer called, pleading for the truck back. I refused, but I had it parked right outside the lawyer's office. I even had the tow company fill the tank and change the oil. My message was clear. Joe could take his truck and leave, but if I saw it again, I'd seize it too. From my office window, 15 floors up, I watched Joe walk to his truck. His shoulders sagged, his steps heavy. He climbed in and drove off, smoke pouring from the exhaust. Joe wasn't the first man I'd ruined, but he was the only one I'd watched so closely as I stripped him of everything. It was a strange feeling, powerful, almost godlike, knowing I held his fate in my hands, and as he disappeared down the road, I knew I'd never see him again.